Ahoy Captains, it's Maz again with another video from World of Warships Legends. And in today's Let's Play, we are playing the Kleber. And we're in a game of domination on the map Northern Waters. Now today we're going to talk about the Kleber, we're going to talk about the post-nerf Kleber. In late 2021, it received a drastic torpedo range reduction. They cut the range on the torpedoes from 8 kilometers to 6 kilometers. I'll give you more of my thoughts on that later on in the match though. And it turned this thing from a Kraken printer to a kind of a neutered ship that not many people play anymore. Well, today we're going to talk about how you can extend that torp range and how you can still have lots of success in the Kleber. First up in this match, we spawned above the Alpha cap, and since we're a destroyer, our job is to go and try and at least contest that cap, or make it as difficult as possible for the enemy to capture it. Now unfortunately our two spawn mates, they're used to playing tier 3 or tier 4, somehow they were allowed to play in tier 7 ships, and they decide to sail to the complete opposite end of the map. Now this presents a problem for us because that means we're one against the entire side here, at least 3 ships. But you know what, screw it. We spawned on this side and by George we're gonna die on this side if we have to. But that doesn't mean we just go ahead and give ourselves up. We're going to try and hold these guys off as long as we can. And here are some tricks that you can use to stay alive while still being a nuisance for multiple enemies at once without any backup. So one of the things you need to do in the Kleber, especially when it doesn't have smoke, when you're going to go capture a cap, turn yourself so you're pointing away from the cap so that if someone does push towards you, you can basically use the only thing you have to disengage, which is your speed. And really that strategy applies to all French destroyers. This Alaska, the only freaking cruiser on the enemy team that also has radar, has just pushed within 9 kilometers of us, which is his radar range, and we popped up on his radar, and so we put that trick into practice, and we GTFO'd, got the heck out of there. And you know what, we didn't appreciate him radaring us, so we fired a few shots at him, just to let him know that we ain't too happy about that. I don't know if I'd suggest firing your guns at maybe a quicker reloading cruiser, but when it's the Alaska and you know that you could fire a few shots, lose detectability, all before he could reload again, you're not really risking too much. Plus we knew that with our speed we could get around the corner and drop detectability pretty quickly. And you know what, we're pissed off the way that this match is going, so here's a few more shells for the road for you before we duck behind this island. And another thing to take note of is that we did launch all of our torps towards that Alaska. Most of them hit some sort of hidden underground bunker there. But we didn't really have to turn the ship too much. We still were able to get away pretty quickly. That's because the Kleber has some excellent torpedo angles, both on the back of the ship and towards the front of the ship. But no, we'll talk more about that later too. For now, we're just going to try and get back in the fight again by disengaging from the cap. We also accomplished another thing. We helped draw the red team towards the rest of our team, who had kind of abandoned us or spawned in the center. So that's one thing you can think about doing when your spawn mates desert you, is that if they don't want to go to the fight, bring the fight to them. Lead the red team towards them, so that they have no choice but to get involved in the action. Uh-oh, out pops the enemy Caberask. Luckily with our current build, we have our detectability down pretty low, and we'll go over our build once we get a break in the action. But for now, we're going to engage this Caberask. What he kind of does here is he panics and pops his smoke screen once he gets spotted by us. It's one thing to do that, to disengage, but it's another thing to do it blindly when you don't know what's spotting you. And then he makes an even bigger mistake by just chilling in a smoke screen, which gives us the opportunity to launch all our torps towards it, and we got one torpedo hit. And because of the Kleber's quick reloading torps, and the fact that the Caberask is just chilling in a smoke screen, it gives us time to maneuver and line up some more torps on that smoke screen. You know, they don't call smoke screens torpedo magnets for nothing. You know, I do still remember this match, even though it was from over a month ago. Sorry, I've been backed up with my projects. Originally, we planned to charge at that smoke screen and just finish him off with our guns. But then the enemy Kansas popped up, and so what we did was we turned around. That's what having backup feels like. Must be nice. But that Kavrask was still in a smoke screen, allowing us to send some nice looking torps into it. And we were able to finish him off. That net us our first kill of the match. And somehow we got a devastating strike medal out of that. I guess both sides of the Kleber's torpedo launchers count as one salvo. And well, I guess that Kansas didn't realize that we had just torpedoed that friendly Kavrask of his in his own smokescreen. And he continues sailing in a straight line. Now, boys and girls, can you tell me what you should not do in a battleship when you know a destroyer is in the area? Is it A, take evasive maneuvers? B, take cover behind the carcass of your comrade or behind an island? Or C, continue sailing in a straight line? If you all pick C, you've passed. And that's right, what you shouldn't do is continue sailing in a straight line. And what do you know, that net us our second devastating strike medal of the match. Now that we've cleared some room for ourselves on this side, we're gonna head towards that Yamato there, while also making our way towards the original Alpha cap that we were trying to cap for our team. Flip on our engine boost, and full speed ahead with the fastest ship in the game. But it's still gonna take us a little while to get there. So while that's happening, let's put our commander up on the screen. We're using our man, Felipe Aboino. Let's go over the skills first. We're using Subsurface Venture, Fragile Threat, Torpedo Safari, Destroyer Be Destroyed, and for the legendary skill, we always use Unstoppable. But take note of the skill choice in the third row, Torpedo Safari. At Aboino's current level, the torpedo range extends an extra 16%. Now look at our inspirations. We're using Bay and Gleaves. Bay for concealment and Gleaves to extend our torpedo range even further. With the combination of Torpedo Safari and Albert Gleaves as an inspiration, we've stretched our torpedo range out to 7 kilometers. So from those 2 kilometers that Wargaming stole from us, we've gained 1 back. And that really goes a long way to making the Kleber a monster again. Here we are, we've made it back into the cap. And we're within the torping range of that Yamato. We figure one side of torp should be fine, and that should finish him off. But nope, we look back behind us to see nothing but a puff of smoke on the water. Why can't we have nice things? There's only 3 more ships left, and they're all the way on the other side of the map. How are we gonna get our Kraken now? Stay tuned to find out. Seriously though, this match is kinda in hand all of a sudden. We've only lost 2 ships, and we finally got an Alpha cap, which puts us up 2 caps to 1. Our closest target is a Bismarck, and you know what? Let's get a little YOLO action going, shall we? But on our way over there, let's talk about this Kleber nerf, shall we? I kind of feel like nerfing the torp range was lazy, to be honest. What do you guys think? I think there were a ton of other things on the Kleber that could have been nerfed and should have been nerfed instead of the torping range. For one, its torpedo damage is off the charts. It's way too high for the amount of torps that it has. Like, either take away some of its torps or reduce the damage. That would have been more practical. Well, they could have done what they did with the Le Fantasme, the tier 7 French destroyer, and drastically reduce the speed of its torps. You know, why not that? Or even the torpedo reload time. For having 4 launchers and 12 torpedoes, the Kleber has a ridiculously low reload time. And you know, there are a lot of people that complain about the concealment on the Kleber, so that's another thing they could have nerfed. They could have upped its concealment. So yeah, there are a lot of things they could have done, and I think that nerfing the range on the Taurus was just lazy, and didn't solve any of the actual problems on the Kleber. And heck, even the torpedo angles, you just saw back there that we launched our torps almost straight ahead. We didn't have to turn our boat barely at all. And because of our low concealment and the distraction our teammates were providing, by the time the Bismarck detected us, it was too late. You only got a half salvo off against us. And so that encounter right there with the Bismarck actually demonstrated the biggest problems with the Kleber. Even with its torpedo range nerf, because of its low concealment and large torpedo alpha strike, it still poses a massive threat. And so that's why I spec'd it out as a full torp boat. You can still play it as a bit of a hybrid because it does still have the second highest gun caliber for destroyers in the game. But the reload time kinda does hinder it a bit. And that single main battery reload booster doesn't make up for that slow reload time over the course of an entire match. Speaking of that reload booster, we just used it to dispatch that Shimakaze. We had already launched torps against that Kerfer, so it's just a matter of time now. And there we go, Kraken Unleashed medal. So Wargaming can take its torpedo range nerf and shove it. But seriously though, I still do think that Wargaming could tinker with the Kleber a little more. They could re-extend the torpedo range a little and then tinker with its other traits. What do you guys think they should do with it? Let me know in the comments down below. Well, as for this match, we finished with 121,000 in damage, 12 torpedo hits, 2 devastating strikes, and the Kraken Unleashed medal. And we almost finished with 3,000 base XP. And heck, with just a common credit booster, we made over 271,000 in credits. Not too shabby. Well, if you did like that video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. And as always, take care of yourself and do what makes you happy.